Hi, I'm Tim.
And I am Julie, and we're with Zentegration.com. So thank you for joining us again on our journey of diving into what is a Zentologist, the art of being a Zentologist. And we are now on item number 8. Please go back and watch each of the previous 7 as they each build on each other. And if you're diving into number 8, it is not going to make a lot of sense to you how we got here. And you'll enjoy it. I mean, we have a lot of fun doing these. So our intention is that you have fun doing these. So quickly, what we've covered so far is sacred pace, grounding, present moment, clarity, open to innovation and creation, emergence of the true authentic you, being mysterious, and now we're talking about freedom, breaking from the norm, breaking away from the expected. And we are working through all the potentials. Right now, this part of the aspects are the potentials on the other side of doing the decluttering of your soul, the decluttering of everything that's hanging off of you that's not yours, which we really dive into those parts of the program in Zentology Core. And so, take a look for that. And where do you want to start, Tim?
Well, I guess maybe with a little bit of a story. It's a difficult topic for me because I always have been one who broke the norms. I moved out of my house when I was 19 years old, and I started working, and I have always taken on the hardest jobs and always done things that no one else wanted to do to be able to push the envelope and always better myself, and did a lot of personal mental attitude work in the late 70s, early 80s, and carried that on into the 90s and the 2000s, using all kinds of leaders and thought leaders in that space like Tony Robbins and Brian Tracy and all that. So I have always been in that space of breaking rules. As a matter of fact, I've been a troublemaker at home because I broke the rules a lot, and so I think there's a core element here that we all have innate desire for freedom, and that's really reflected in our world situation today. We live in these videos have been done here in Sedona, Arizona, in the USA, and the world. Not all the world shares the same levels of freedoms that we have, and we're really glad to have them. And it's really innate in our core as a human being to be able to, in our soul, to need and have this freedom. Now, where is it? What are you going to do with this freedom, and how do you break out, and what is that process? We each have our journeys, as I mentioned a little bit of mine. But I will ask if you are in a place of comfort that you are not growing. If you're breaking the rules or breaking boundaries or whatever those limitations that you perceive yourself to have, it's going to put yourself in a place that is uncomfortable. So if you're comfortable, you're not growing. If you're uncomfortable and pushing the envelope, you will continually grow. You will find yourself breaking from the norm and the expected. And that DNA may not totally resonate with you today, but as you look at the core being, that's the core that we have, is we want to have expression of ourselves and our beings. And we come into this world to share expression. When we were kids, we shared that in art and drawing and just being totally creative. And here we are as adults, and we've forgotten all that. And we've hidden that in the sand somewhere. Mm-hmm. So I see this whole point of freedom as a really important piece to talk about. And I want to switch this back to you because, Julie, you had an amazing journey and desire to break from the norm and freedom. Can you talk a little bit about your journey, and then talk a little bit about what does it mean? Why is it important?
Well, first you can tell me which one of my breakouts.
All of them.
There's been a few of them. So for me, as I mentioned in the previous video, that freedom is my #1 value, and it really sticks with me. And I actually have to stop myself because in order for me to create my freedom box, I actually have to break out of my box to go to larger experiences of that. So if you want to talk about me breaking out from the economy that I was born into, which was, middle Minnesota and the poorest county that existed, which I didn't know, which is actually a blessing. And to be able to go through college and work my way through corporate and have businesses of my own, is because one thing that I can honestly say my parents never did is that they didn't ever let us on that we were poor. They didn't ever tell us that we couldn't do something. And maybe that's because I was raised in a farm family and everybody did everything and everybody worked together. So those core values really came through, and I was used to working hard. When you come from that environment, there is no sitting around, and you didn't dare ever say you were bored, because that just meant 15 more chores for the day.
More milking of cows.
Yeah. So it was a breakthrough, and I meant part of the breakthrough for me also was in relationships. And we each have our own path, and it's really, really difficult to honor that when there are some people that come together and they're to be together for 90 years. And that's beautiful. It wasn't my situation. And it really became critical for me to honor myself. And in order to honor myself, I had to break all the frickin' rules around relationship. And so when especially when you have a relationship with your best friend, and your soul keeps pushing and pushing, and you know that relationship, that friendship was keeping me right here. And I was getting deeper and deeper and more unhappy. And I really honestly couldn't figure it out. I just couldn't figure it out, because we got along fine. We were good friends. It didn't make sense. It was such a relief when I asked for the divorce and the separation on levels I took me really years to explain and to understand. And it really comes down to what I needed for freedom, what my soul needed so I could expand and so I could get to me. I had millions. When we talk about coats, man, I had a lot of them. And so that breakout in 2010 created a whole bunch of stuff going on in my life. And it was a choice. It was a conscious choice. It was a difficult choice. And it was one of the best choices I ever made for myself. So I think that's probably gives you enough information of breaking free.
And if you want to know how important that was for Julie, read her book, Soul on Fire. It's an amazing story about a woman's perspective on journeying, breaking out, and finding her true self, and going to the next level of what her future growth means. So anyway, that was a shameless plug for Julie. She probably wouldn't do it. So I just want to go back to the freedom piece, and I think it's really important that we reach that place where you're not just running from something to be free. You're running to something. You're really in a place where you have done the homework, you've done the cleansing, you've done the work around your soul, your body, your mind. So you can be in a place where you make good choices about what this freedom means and breaking from the norm, and why is it important to you? Because just to say you're going to do something because somebody else hasn't done it, it may be okay, but it's something that you need to go back to your core. What's your journey in life, and helping position that breakout to really leapfrog and take advantage of all your resources in harmony around you, as opposed to struggle around you, to really move that forward. And to me, I like the words leapfrogging, because it's very important that we stand on the shoulders of giants and leapfrog from one shoulder to the other, because it's through our relationships, it's through our partnerships, it's through a harmony with our friends and our resources around us that we can find the breaks from the norm, and in the right way that is aligned with our purpose and aligned with our journey. So that's how I view the importance of freedom. But it's not just free to be free; it's free with purpose. And so hopefully we can catch your attention, because the training program that we're putting together through the Zentologist core is really building your core. It's almost like this ab workout. You got to get your core bodies together, and this is a key piece of this. We've covered a lot of the core pieces, but this is really now where you're going to look to expand and grow. And then this is where the last few that we're going to go through coming up next. is going to take you to the next level beyond just creativity and breaking the norm and doing things out of the norm and doing it for the right purpose. So, you want to wrap up?
Yeah, so the freedom really is about breaking free from the conventional. When you're in your Zen point, when you're in your core essence of who you are, and you've broken away from the conventional and you broke all the rules of your family and your social and your cultural boxes that you just don't resonate with anymore. Not that they're bad, they just don't fit you. And it's a pattern that gets broken, and again, we're back to the eggshell concept, right? It's a pattern that gets broken and opens a space for your true self to come through. So it's breaking through the conventional, it's allowing you to come through, and you get that freedom from the norm, so you can experience life at the fullest. So I think that's good.
Life is exciting at the edge.
Yeah, on the edge. Yeah, sometimes we're way on the edge. And you have to go there. You have to get out of your comfort zone. And you do that through new choices, and you do those new choices through actually awareness. And awareness happens when you're doing programs like this. You get different perspectives that you can't get in the box that you're sitting in. So you break out and you look at new potentials. So our next element is going to be spaces between spaces. And yeah, our minds go creative with that one. So again, go to our social links here that are on the page and tell us your biggest blocks, your biggest questions around freedom and why you do deserve or you don't deserve. What is your block? Where are you pushing up against something that you know is not allowing your soul to expand? What is it that you really are asking yourself to do to get to where you want to go that you are bucking up against? Take a look at it. It's a big one. It's a big one. It definitely is part of the integration core program. It is a huge component in embracing those parts of us that we have to break through.
On that note, Julie, we say good day and good night. And until the next time, this is Tim and Julie from Zentologist.com.